Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the Dreamhack Fall Quarterfinals. Two Terrans you probably, well, maybe don't hear of as much, but you should. In the bottom right, the Chinese Terran, making a splash against several big names, and looking to do so again. It's time. Period. And in the top left, from Team Envy, don't let his name fool you. He is a murderous Terran, about, honestly, in the same tier as his opponent. Scraping at the best, but still stuck with the rest. It's Bunny. From South Korea. From Team Envy. Now, Terran versus Terran. Jimmy, can we get the guide up? Like and subscribe if you enjoy a good chess boxing match, because Terran versus Terran, especially lately, has traded the more no-rush strategic plays. Now, I say that, I know we're on Romantis side. Romantis side, well known for more drawn-out macro plays, but there has been a resurgence of early game aggression as people figure out all the opportunities to get the damage done. Bunny actually SCV scouting here. Time is specifically scouting to see if there are any proxies. He'll find none, and there are none to find. Seeing the command center is already a decent amount of information. And Bunny, he's gone for 2 gas, though he's pulling out of gas. Which means he's not intent on a super all-in, but instead just wanted to get that factory up a little bit quicker. And with the factory, you'll get your... Well, I don't need to explain the factory units, but just having some map control early can translate into a better economy later. I don't think, especially since he's pulling off a gas, he has any intentions. He has any intentions of outright killing time. It's gonna be a hard series. At least it's not showtime versus time. Versus game time. Bunker finishes up. I was trying to follow that up, but I didn't have time for it. The Reapers, he's gonna jump to the main. Already damaged 1 Reaper. A little optimistic, and Bunny gets driven back. Time. Stuttering. Not gonna risk the Reaper down the ramp. Not making the same mistake his opponent did. Jumping up with a 2/3 health Reaper against a Marine and Reaper of Times. So that one unit, like, did you know a Reaper builds as fast as a Reaper? Now that might sound like the dumbest thing you've ever heard, but consider it when you realize that if you're only about 20-30 seconds ahead in your build because of this double gas, and you lose that 20 or 30 seconds, well, guess what? You no longer have any of the even small advantages you may have enjoyed. Now, Time has not scouted at all. Well, outside of seeing there's no proxy racks. He hasn't gone down his ramp. He hasn't... Well, he's gone down the ramp for the proxy racks. He chased the Reaper a little. He doesn't know if there's a command center. He doesn't know what's coming. There could be tanks. There could be some sort of Viking push. Or there could be nothing. But there is no reason for Time, who's already building his 3rd command center, already working on 3 gases, who has barely any units, no reason to risk any of those units, because he really just does not have the ability to do damage right now. You see, he's putting depots exactly where units would try to sneak in. In fact, he's got a Cyclone where the Raven would want to go, as those top-tier players like to find the sneaky locations, usually from this angle. Bunny, on the other hand, assuming he's going to have map control, assuming correctly. This is the chess part, alright? I guess it's a little bit more like poker, because you can't see what the other person's doing, but you can guess, as neither player... in fact... Yeah, when I said a lot more aggression, I didn't say a lot more. I think I tempered my language a bit. But when I said more aggression and early plays, I did then say We are on Romanticide. Romanticide is Cloud Kingdom version 420 or so. And we've had a large amount of time to realize how to play out maps like this. You got a ramp leading up to your natural and your third. You have a mineral wall, which is even stronger than a depot one against tanks. Towards that third base. Just being on the platform means you have defender's advantage for 3 bases instead of the customary 2. Only a handful of maps usually during each map pool, or the map pool, give you that opportunity. What are you doing, buddy? Buddy! You know where he lives. You walk up onto his lawn and expect him not to have siege tanks? Bunny, this isn't the first time this game a few units have walked in and been hit in the face by reality. Time is just kind of sitting there waiting for Bunny to lose his units. Bunny, on the other hand, is happy to oblige. Those Ravens have a lot of energy here. On both sides. Now, the Ravens could literally do anything in this fight. I think anti-armor missile is the least effective choice, but interference matrix, auto turrets, choosing between any of the many options is the most important part. Like, do you disable the tanks? Do you try to get the Ravens? But there is like a cast and projectile time on the interference matrix. Looks like Bunny's gonna make his way up towards the natural. Siege tank can barely shell. I don't know if it can quite hit the command center, but the auto turret is placed, and Time doesn't really have any defenses there. The tanks are going to shark around. Remember, behind this, Bunny has an expand. He's got even amount of workers, the upgrades. He just started +1, which does feel a little on the later side. Time sees nothing. Okay, Jimmy, how many times? Like, I've said this before. Calm down. You're not John Williams. I wish. Well, so that was Bunny testing the waters. That's about as much as you're going to get done. On most maps, you could probably press a base with a Viking advantage, but the Viking advantage is so tenuous right now. Especially considering if you lose it, or if you lose vision for 1 second, those tanks might get a better position. I'm honestly surprised Bunny got anything done. And what he got done was keeping Time. Time seems perfectly happy to play Macro Simulator right now. Time's vision has not yet extended past the halfway mark. Bronze League heroes. I found your champion. Okay. He was here all along. Taking down rocks before making any aggressive gestures toward the enemy. He's taking a fourth and lining up siege tanks next to it. He's got a sensor tower on his third. When will be the first time? Oh my god. Oh my god. Can we like give him a different nickname? I was trying to think of what the opposite of Time was. And that is a real philosophical question I can't handle right now. So we're moving on. $172 supply apiece. Yeah, that was real deep. Like these tank lines are going to be, as both these players nearing a max out under 10 minutes into the match with 2-2 on the way. Bunny has not yet really opened up his fourth. Does he have a fourth command center? He has it at the natural, but Time has finally moved out. It's his time to shine. What's the tank count? 8-8. Marines 44-39. 10 Vikings for Bunny to just 6 for his counterpart across the way. That Viking advantage, the upgrades are even, scrambles across the board, takes the initiative, only 3 tanks firing, slips through the rocks, Vikings damage done, the counter scrambles, wait a second, Time turns it around, And there it goes. Bunny took the first step. It looks like in this one, Tom's gonna take the last. All the Marines. He held the line. It wasn't enough to scramble half the tanks. The damage output was too damn high, and the Marines themselves were firing the whole time. The defensive position that Time put right on the front lawn of Bunny paying off, and attacking into that was just not enough. A beautiful engagement and great patience out of Tom. I mean, the expert. The scans +2 infantry attack is done. And that means in straight up engagements, Tom gonna have an even larger advantage. Bunny gonna try to outflank. Oh, the tanks move a little far forward. Tom splits and stims, drops the Vikings on the deck. Where are the reinforcements? He's gonna try to drop at the back. All but one tank is taken down. A bit of an optimistic drop from Bunny, who's now down 40 supply, has to shuttle back over the mineral lines. A Liberator shows up. All the Vikings from Time were used there. Only one or two... Oh, well. Here comes some more. He's got at least a couple starports. It looks like we're a moment from closing it out, as siege tanks desperately sieging with literally no space to spare. 19 SCVs, punctuated by 2 Gs. A clinical game out of time. He did not lose a single battle, and eventually won the war. I don't think any part of that you could really judge as losing. There were some parts where he got pushed back a little, but he won every fight. And he never gave up any ground. Fun fact, I do want to point out, Bunny has a Bronze League border in this tournament, so... Jimmy. No, Bob Williams and John Williams are not the same thing. Well, you know what that means. We are in Game 2. We're testing out some new music crews. I gotta say, very enthusiastic. I'll give him that for the start of this game, too. Bunny quite literally does have a Bronze League border. I'm not sure how much effort he put into getting that, because, of course, players usually have a separate account they play for tournaments, so who knows, Bronze Leaguers? You might be facing Bunny. We don't stop for anyone here. All right. Bring in the main crew. The openers are good, but we do it live here. There's a reason we do things the way we do. It's because that's how people know to like and subscribe. Bunny will be SCV scouting again this time. Will be going for the 2 gas. Now, this is 2,000 atmospheres. A lot of pressure to do well on this map, especially for Bunny. It also is, you don't even have a ramp to your natural, let alone your third. That means that tank pushes are much more dangerous earlier on. That's about it. But that's a very large concern. I was trying to think. Usually when you do these bulleted lists, you gotta come up with like 2 or 3 other like bullshit points. Like, increases productivity or maximizes synergy. But is more vulnerable to tank pushes will have to suffice. Cyclone from either side. Expanding on the low ground. This is the more standard set of builds. Wait, I take it back again. TVT is literally each and every part. I mean, every mirror matchup is, but TVT more than most because the add-ons are such a tell as well. So both players went 2 Reaper into Cyclone, skipping the Hellion altogether. But Bunny just jumps in. Bunnies just go antsy, taking the initiative. That is what got Bunny into such a tough spot in the previous match. And right now, killing 3 SCVs is good, but he lost 2 Reapers. He needs a bunker now. Like, he did lose both of his Reapers. He just jumped in. Maybe he feels like he's cosplaying or something. He's like, well, my name is Bunny, so I must hop. Wow, it's rough today. Okay, don't worry, we still have time for more. Speaking of, switching over. 2 Raxes. We have our first split. As already a star port completed for Bunny. Cyclone's done. Raven on the way. 2 Cyclones is the choice. Meanwhile, time, Stim and essentially a double medevac drop. This is definitely a bit of a swerve. Not completely out of the question. If this is spotted, this is one of those builds that is significantly stronger if it goes unscouted. Because if you're trying to split your defenses and prepare for, like, say, a Raven harass, or maybe a tank push, and then you get hit with 2 medevacs of Stim Marines, it usually hits right before your infrastructure comes online. Like before you, the player who was doing a more normal 1-1-1 build, got additional barracks pumping, or really finished your 3rd command center. We'll see if Bunny adds a 3rd CC or more barracks first, but that looks like the direction we're going. Meanwhile, with those medevacs coming out, time will be going for an attack. There's no point in getting Stim and 2 medevacs so early and then sitting at home. Alright, that's for people who build Ravens and build up energy and other boring stuff like that. Couple Marines missed their boarding gate. But otherwise, 14 Marines loaded up into the medevacs, headed for the main. What will there be? 1 tank, handful of Ravens. By a handful, I mean 2. 2 tanks. There is literally nothing besides a lower depot. Buddy's about to be completely blind. He's moving out! Oh no! It could not get any worse. This is a disaster for Buddy. Oh my god. He didn't go. Alright, well, Time, the patient player. If Time had just jumped, if he had scanned and seen this, he may have been able to win the game right there. If the tanks hadn't been able to siege, well, thankfully for Bunny, he did not do so. And that means he will survive. In fact, wow, Time, alright. Sometimes we joke that Terran versus Terran is throwing versus throwing, TVT. It is, especially at the lower levels, like where I play, an exercise in people feeling like they have the initiative and then completely blowing it. And so far, this series is really exemplifying that. As almost every player who's attacked has lost. Time, the previous game, technically attacked, but only well after Bunny took the fight to him. So here comes Bunny, trying his hand. And while he lost 10 SCVs, Time lost 2 medevacs, almost entirely full of Marines. So that is not an ideal scenario. Reaper... Oh. Well, that was a certain hotkey he used there. Couple scrambled tanks. He managed to get 1 unsieged before the interference matrix hit. It's a bit of a messy push. There's only 2 Vikings here, but that is 2 more than Time has. There's no combat shields, though. Is he just gonna dunk? No, did he see it? He saw the medevacs. Time, not able to snipe anything, but he's dragging the energy out of the Ravens as well. Those are some very precarious tanks. Without combat shield, oh my god, the SCV that was going for the third. He's trying to close the distance on the medevacs. The medevacs are a little late running away. Time is struggling to find more of himself. This is a very optimistic time to be transferring SCVs. He finally agrees. The Ravens are bruised and mostly out of energy, but what are we doing? Where are we going? Halfway through the map are 2 medevacs and Marines. There used to be more. Upgrades 0-0. No combat shield even in production right now for Bunny. The starport is burning, and he can't really lift it. Is he just gonna go? Where are you going? These rocks need a killing. Are you seriously gonna base trade? Did Bunny notice what's happening? I think Bunny noticed. Bunny has multiple siege tanks and is pulling his third back into his main. I think it's safe to assume Bunny noticed. Also, you could just say, hey, where's that, like, 40 army supply you had? This is the slowest base trade. Like, we are going through aggressive trade negotiations right now. As neither player is... I mean, Bunny is shelling the main. Time finishes 1-1, which means his Marines are significantly more cost-effective, but siege tanks are still siege tanks. Don't you dare come home now. Oh my god. Well, base trade didn't pan out, so guess who's back? Oh, okay. A perfect scan by Bunny. He's figured this one out, but does it matter? The tanks are kind of awkwardly on the ramp. The boys are pulled. The auto turrets to block the way. But without combat shields, 1-1 time closes the jaws. And finally, it is time for Bunny to leave. After a 3-minute world tour, the units come back and clear the area. 40 supply is the gap, which is a bit much. The army supplies are closer to even, and I cannot stress how important the upgrades are. Especially considering Time has 33 to 22 Marines. He will just straight up win any relatively even army supply battles. Combat shield did finish for Bunny. And now Bunny sent half his Marines across. Guys! Just stay home! Bunny has no Marine. Bunny's stimming back towards the fight. Not taking the leisurely stroll throughout the map his counterpart did. Never mind. Well, he's taking the, are you serious? Now, there are two types of people. There's people who go over the rocks, and then there's people who will go through them. Bunny hopping over the rocks, Time grinding them down. How appropriate. GG, game over. I'm glad these players are living up to their names, and we're all tied up. A bit of... Well... I don't know how I expect. I had no expectations. But I'm still surprised. I guess if you have no expectations, are you always surprised? No. Think on that. Game 3. I don't know. I don't know what that was. That was a mess. I don't think either player played badly. I think this is one of those, like... How do I put it? Like, you got two players who are a little bit off to the side of the meta, right? Like, they are a little out of tune. But they're both out of tune in different ways. So it's like nails on a chalkboard, kind of. And that game was definitely a demonstration of two players that look at things in a different way and find similar solutions to the problem, to be honest. They both were trying to avoid taking the tank push head on, but neither really succeed. I guess Bunny technically succeeded because he won the game, but time kind of opened the door for him by losing 2 medevacs and trading for only SCVs. I think the real telling part was when when Time had dropped 2 medevacs in the main. Like, he dropped 2 medevacs in the main. And then he just kind of sat there and killed a depot. Like, he had the opportunity to stim in and maybe kill a tank, or, like, cut off the main and make it so he couldn't retreat to it. But he played it safe. And in game 1, that really paid off for him. But it doesn't pay off when you're in your opponent's base, alright? Like, that is not the time for caution. We'll see whether either of them heed caution in match 3. Let's take a look at the details here. This time we got 2 Reaper Hellion. Will we go 3 and 2 or switch it up? The standard is 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. Why? Because that's how it pans out. You get enough gas, you save your gas for a starport, and then you can add a tech lab for a cyclone after. Advantages: this is your best chance at having map control early, and is the only reliable counter if they go 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. The downsides are not getting your tech quite as quick, and if you actually lose any piece of that puzzle early, you're not going to have many Marines or really any other units to back it up. So it's a pretty medium risk, medium reward play. Going for anything else is usually a little higher risk, but potentially higher reward as well. Like, if you rush out a Cyclone, there's a chance they just attack you before it's done. Speaking of, he didn't target the SCV in the command center finishes. Oh, Time. You got it. The time to kill. Once again, Time taking a little too much of himself and not quite getting a game-changing kill there. Now, would it have ended the game? No. But it delays the command center, and he can hold the bottom of the ramp for a little longer. Like, it's 5-10 seconds that you could have easily had. And these little details do add up over time. He's just adding a second Rex, and usually when you add a second Rex so quickly, the intent is to go for a stim push. Instead of going for a larger swell of production later on, maybe with upgrades, you get your stim out and you take the initiative. On the other side, a little more typical play out of Bunny again. We got the Raven siege tank, Marine production. We'll probably see probably 1 engineering bay, and then a couple more Rex. And then we can just keep going down the script. Flips over. Another question, will he go for 2 Ravens or just the 1 and then start building Cyclones off the reactor? Cyclone, the ragtag band of early game units that Bunny will look to creatively throw away by the time we get to 100 supply so he doesn't have to deal with them, is out in force. This Marine really hoping that they don't spot him. You should be able to hold fire with any unit. Gets 1 SCV. Some fancy micro. Bunny, he starts his stim, but with only 1 barracks. You gotta start those barracks pretty quick, otherwise you have stim for like 6 Marines. Once again, time moving out. Oh, even brings the other SCV. 14. You know, this just seems to be the kind of guy Time is. Okay? He doesn't drop 16 Marines. I mean, let's play it safe. 14 out of 16. He does scan and see nothing in the main. So at least he scans ahead this time. There will be no oh god! You guys need to stop. Time sent out a Marine strike force. Bunny sent out his entire army. Time knows it's coming. This is a huge advantage. No, kill the... Okay. He denies the stim. He'll kill all the SCVs. Bunny can't really figure out what he wants. His main base is gone. It's just straight up gone. I can't believe he did the same thing again. Oh, here we go. Time's not looking. Back at home, the Raven moving in, trying to get some auto turrets. The scrambles are great here, but are they enough? No. Even the unsieged tank trying to get... Oh yeah, this is a slaughter. Yeah, that... Bunny managed to escape with his main. The command center, burning, will land again. And we will play it out from here. But yeah, that... There was no return fire there. There was no counter damage. Bunny just lost on both sides. He lost 23 SCVs, 3 tanks, a Raven. They traded Ravens at least, but like... That is just an outright and overall loss for Bunny. But respect. You got 3 command centers? Dreams are made. You know, the problem with having 3 command centers in Terran versus Terran is your opponent also can have 3 command centers. So, really not gonna... Those mules not nearly as much of an impact as they are in Terran versus Xur. That Marine feeling very unlucky or very lucky right now. He's a bit of a thrill seeker. Oh, here comes Tom. The Vikings hit the deck to cover for the tanks. Yeah, that's not enough. But awkwardly now, the Liberators will siege. Okay, so here we are. Another kind of off-kilter game, but this one tilts towards Tom. I'm not really sure what's happening, but there you go. Bunny is not checking his corners, essentially. He is not making an effort to make sure that Time doesn't just drop 2 medevacs in his base. And 2 medevacs are a dangerous amount of units. Except as we saw the game before when they're not. So, a confusing series, but I think a bit of a return to sanity here. A good old-fashioned proxy Rex. Okay. But only one. Is he gonna build one at home and pretend like he's not proxy rexing? Time hasn't even SCV scouted. 3 games in a row, no SCV scout. So this is one of those like mind games that doesn't work because your opponent never sees it, I feel. Or is he just... Oh, is it just... I don't understand. The only thing Time has done is map hack his way into... No, Time has scouted for proxy racks every game. And, well... Wait, let's go to the time. Wait, no! Oh, no. Time didn't check his corners. Is that a tech... Oh my god, it's concussive. Well, this makes much more sense. Concussive Shell Marauder Rush. And if you don't see... seeing is... If he had seen it, if you know that's a tech lab, you just build a bunker, you're good to go. Oh my god. Time 1 pixel away from just taking this series. Essentially... I don't know. I was going to say for free, but it's been a costly series. He was 1 pixel. And I'm confident saying essentially just winning. Especially since there's no follow. Like, this is so all in. It's so easy to counter if you know it's coming. And it's much harder if you don't. All you have to do is not let them break your knees. Metaphorically or otherwise. Because, like, jetpacks, whatever. Did he see something? Oh my god. Oh no.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my god. Time actually. He got to finish the command center. It was 1 second away, but once again, it looks like those SCVs getting a reprieve. A little bit late on that repair, bro! Oh, whoa, whoa! Wait, no, he wants to fight. I think he wanted to repair, but then he decided to fight because he was already there. So these Marauders are... What is happening? Okay, so the Marauders are marauding, as they do. They can't go up the ramp, and they can't really go back down the ramp. But also, Time can't really go back down the ramp. Can't you outrange a bunker with a Reaper? Okay, so there's a Widow Mine. Why not use the Hellion? I think you use... Oh, he just uses the Hurt Marauder. Smart move. Okay. So Time loses the bunker, which I feel like he could have just killed the bunker in the first place. Now there are Hellions. He's sniping off Marines. Marauders actually, once they can lock them down, do a lot of damage to those non-combat shielded Marines. This feels like a Wings of Liberty game. What am I watching? The Cyclone's gonna pop out and really ruin my nostalgia here, but this is a concussive shell. I'm not sure the Cyclone is I guess the Cyclone is a good counter, but if they catch it, why is the barracks here? I guess he was done building... I need to stop guessing and start saying, I think. But he was done building Marauders. He wanted high ground vision, but it was a little late to the party. Okay, Time. Steal his tech lab. Steal his tech lab. Real strat. The worker count is in favor of Bunny, who has expanded behind this. He's getting in... Wait, that's a barrack. Wait, okay. His other barracks is here. I'm like, why is he building a barracks? I mean, just generally to have a barracks, but it felt weird that there was no barracks in the base for about 1.5 seconds. So, instead of Time scouting it and just winning, I think Bunny has hopped into a slight lead. But also, I don't know if either of these players would agree with that, with the information they have. Alright, so here we go again. What a mess this series is. Like, it's a good mess. It's one of those messes you go home, you're like, you know what? I'm glad I went outside and I made that mess. And then the police knock on your door. But, I don't think that will happen here. So, Reaper in the main might delay the third command center. We'll die for it, but 3 seconds on the third command center and the knowledge the third command center exists are also important. This is the most even game so far. Somehow, the Proxy Rex Concussive Shell Rush has turned out to be the closest and most even match. Cyclone, the unit counts are nearly identical if you just ignore the fact that Time has 12 more Marines. But otherwise, essentially exactly the same. And honestly, right now, the Marines are not that big a deal. Wait. Yeah, he doesn't have combat shield or stim. So they're mostly just there to die instead of tanks, ideally. Cyclones. Begun, the Clone War has. Okay, now it's over. Pretty quick war. They both scan, counter-scan. They see where the other is. Nice of Bunny to walk directly into the scan. Just let him know. We're just gonna fight around the little bush and rock here. Oh, this is a bit optimistic. Who's gonna... Oh, the auto turrets! Who's... Okay. All right, turrets. Vikings. Marauders. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was sure something. It looks like time lost. That was a lot. Oh, wow. That... And you know what else is very bold of time? Is to just say, I lost that fight. I have almost no units. Now's a good time for a third. I don't... You have 1 tank, 3 Vikings, and a Marine. What are you doing here? Like, does the left hand know what the right hand is doing? Wait, okay. So the command center is about to start burning, but now time has the Viking advantage. Slightly. He's just gonna go to the other one. There's an SCV over here. Just ignore that. Okay. Okay, so no, time has less Vikings, which usually don't beat more Vikings, unless more Vikings are little bitches. As we see here. Time just confidently slapping the command center down near the former Barracks Tech Lab, now just sad Tech Lab abandoned. Bunny has a half HP Marine Marauder because he's been building Viking. Who has more Vikings? Time has more Vikings. This is a Wings of Liberty game. Alright? Ignore the Cyclones and the weird Raven spells. Get out the Seeker missiles, and this is a Wings of Liberty game. Awkward-ass tank pushes with random Marines and SCVs dying because we didn't realize that how good people would get at control. And then just kind of not getting... Wait, does he have stim? He has stim. He just doesn't want to use it because it's hurt him before. It's good to quit a bad habit like that. Especially before you get combat shield. Be safe. Research combat shield today. So, Time managed to carve out his third and has only a 5-worker deficit, which is a bit of a minor miracle. Considering just... I don't know. Honestly. It felt like Time was winning, and then he just kind of lost the fight because he didn't have enough units. But then... Well, this is one of the most obvious drops I've ever seen. He scanned directly on it before. Time's just sitting here like... Well, he wasn't expecting this much of a commitment. That much is very clear. He had a tank, he had a few Marines, he had some Vikings. He was expecting like 1 or 2 medevacs. Because it was super obvious what Bunny was going to do. But Bunny, in typical Bunny fashion, just kind of sent everything. Speaking of, here comes Time to clear out the main. The Vikings taking down the medevacs. There will be no retreat. The ships have been burned, and now they have been landed to kill the Dude, no, come back. Time! Finish your food! Stop playing with it and okay. Oh, there's one Marine over here that is redirecting the whole army. He's gonna build a bunch. The TPM will raise. He leaves 3 tanks in the main. A bolt. Wow, these scans are almost like metaphorical. I don't even know if Time could have had his army out there by then, but, like, you can never be too careful. In fact, Time Scan was ahead of its time. He scanned where Bunny was going to be in, like, 20 seconds, which is obviously where you want to scan. But I just find it amusing, like, how far in the middle of the map he gambled on it. Almost paid off. No, Bunny. You know what he would... Yeah, I'll do it again. I don't think so. I don't think you will. Nope, he says, well, that's 3 tanks all in the... Go home. Hop right on out of here. Alright. Oh, he wanted to, though. Oh, my God. Oh. You can't... Like... There's a carrot and a stick. Okay, and all Bunny sees is carrot, whereas all Time's trying to show him are a bunch of sticks. Eventually, Bunny thinks better of it. Bunny still has the advantage. He still has more army supply. He's got map control. He's got 4 bases. He's gonna have 2-2 quicker. All he's gotta do is take... Like, if he fights heads up in a full army fight with relatively even numbers and a 2-2 advantage, he can win the game off that. But it's a pretty thin window, and so far Bunny has not shown a lot of an overabundance of caution. If Time is able to hold on until it's 2-2, well, settle in. All right. I think we're coming right now up on the last major advantage. In fact, right now is the last major advantage Bunny is likely to get in the foreseeable future. The 2-2 is done. Time is still... No, 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 no. Stop. 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 What is wrong with you? Oh, my God. I can't... Who does that? Absolute suicidal madman. He just goes with half his army. Oh my God. Time still loses. Like, he gave as good as he got. Oh, he knew the turrets were there. He just said, I need more medevacs. Oh my, a full Operation Overlord there. The upgrades are even. Bunny still has map control because he didn't sacrifice his tanks. He only sacrificed his incredibly brave Marines. Time is so bunched up. Marines are trapped between a literal rock and a hard place. The boys are pulled. No more repair. The tanks, are they enough? The Marines that Bunny does not have to protect work for Time. Vikings still intact after this whole debacle. Time still bleeding. Bunny is going to grind him. He's trying to grind him down. The Red Army here. How many Marines? What is the Marine loss counter? Time has actually lost 110 to 80. It sure doesn't feel like it, right? But that just means how many more Marines has Bunny made? That's the question we should be asking. It's not about how many men you have. It's about how many you have to replace them. This is very awkward for Time to scan. Bunny has not yet noticed. He notices now. He sees the Liberators and is able to unsiege. The tanks move up in their own much slower but more dramatic dance. Oh no. Here we go again. Time down 30 army supply. But where is that army supply? The actual ground army of Time is pretty comparable. He sees the tanks sieging up, some of them wandering in. The Liberators gonna try to dislodge this position. Bunny has finished 3-3, but a handful of siege tanks on the high ground will make quick work of the Marines either way. Bunny trying to play the slow siege game while also doom dropping. The Marines. Devastating hits. Liberators siege and unsiege at approximately the same speed as siege tanks. Just semi-relevant, but building armor as well as high-sec auto-tracking on the way. Bunny's maxed out. He wants to win the game if he can now, before time gets any more ground. He has the Liberators. Now I'm gonna try to target fire them. Marines from everywhere across the board. The Liberators. Oh my god. If I know Bunny, he sees those tanks. He sees his Vikings. He's done a good job of maintaining his tanks and his Vikings. His Marines have had bad days. That tank also. Time, on the other hand, just kind of retreating. He does have that top left base, which I don't believe Bunny has scouted yet. Yeah, he has no idea. It seems pretty obvious. A lot of stimming happening here. Bunny's stimming towards the planetary, not towards all these tanks. He brings a few Marines back. The rest of the Marines, 15 SCVs down. Time's... Okay. Alright. Well, it seemed kind of inevitable we get to this point. Oh my god. And then time just dies. Oh my. Oh. You know what? One more time, please. One more time. Yeah. First volley was enough. What a bloodbath this match has been. Mentally and physically. I have learned nothing, but also so much. Oh god, map 5 is Beckett Industries. The smallest map in the well-known pool. Well, but instead of getting up close and personal this moment, instead, we're going to personalize. A quick advertising break. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you. Yes, you, my best friend, who's watching this right now and is feeling personally attacked. Well, you know how to stay my best friend? Like and subscribe. Yes, I am that cheap. I mean, you can find other ways, but that is the easiest way to continue to be one of my very many and hopefully increasing number of best friends. In good company. Leave a comment. Is TVT your favorite matchup? If not, shut up. If so, make sure to leave a comment on the video. And you can chat with other people. At least half of them are people. We hope. Don't click the links. Please don't click the... Just for God's sake. Don't click the links. If there is a link in essentially anywhere on the internet, think twice. But especially on the YouTube comments. Because Jimmy can't really tell the difference for many reasons. Either way, like, subscribe, and you see those videos over there in the recommended tab, or down there maybe. Well, don't click on them now. But when you see one of those great thumbnails you know and love, shy away from the Hearthstone video, okay? And the okay, stop. Yeah, WinterStarcraft, it has that check mark. Thank you. Good night. Thank you guys for sticking around. No ads are loud, annoying. But it's how we keep things going. And now, the epic and confusing conclusion of one of the most matches I have seen this year. Time versus Bunny. I don't know what's happening. I don't think either of these players are particularly knowledgeable of it either. That last game was the closest so far, and it started with a Proxy Rex, Concussive Shell, Marauder Rush. Now, Time is trying to hide his barracks in his own base. So, like, the SCV comes up the ramp, sees no Rex, assumes there's a Proxy Rex, freaks out, and then just leaves the game. But we'll see if that ends up happening. This is the least effort you could put into hiding something from your opponent, but is sometimes better than nothing. As we saw, literally 1 pixel can be the difference between a relatively easy victory and painful defeat. Beckett Industries has... Okay, I've counted poorly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 12 bases, which sounds like a lot, but that's only 6 bases per side. Which means, well, for comparison, I believe Lightshade has 20. Nobody's gonna go check. That means once we start maxing out, the main base is usually mining out, the natural as well. There's not that much space or that many minerals to work with. And this usually trends in one of 2 ways. You've got the obvious, which is forcing engagements early on, because the rush distance is so short and the bases are so close together. And 2 is getting people to play even more defensive because of how precious those minerals are. Usually it tends towards the first one, even if players don't intend it. But occasionally you get someone very dedicated to the cause. Okay, so he hid the Rex, but this time Bunny did. Are we just not scouting? Honestly, in this matchup with how these players are playing, would scouting even help? I say 1 game after, Time could have just won the series by scouting the Proxy Rex. So yes, it definitely would help. In this case, Time was trying to make it hurt Bunny, but Bunny counteracted it by just not scouting. Don't try this at home. Please don't try this at home. We now have the usual suspects coming together. Barracks Factory Starport. For once, no other shenanigans, just building the Cyclone, building the Raven. We're gonna get any gases on the low ground already. Queued up. Let me through. Let me through. I have a pass. I have a mineral walk pass. Please, sir. I have a permit for the refinery in my hand. Bureaucracy. So what happened is one SCV was rallied to the minerals, and that's perfectly fine. The other one wanted to make a refinery, which now meant that he manifested himself physically in corporeal reality, which Time only fleetingly acknowledges. Or does it? Moving on. Banshee. Excuse me. We don't build those anymore because Cyclones, Ravens, and Vikings exist. So he built a Banshee, which is... I guess check that off your bingo cards. The thing is, the Banshee can work because no one ever builds a Banshee, so no one's ready for it. A Banshee shows up without cloak, and usually what happens is a Cyclone shoots it down, and then you're like, why did I build that Banshee? But now there's nothing at all at the natural. And the Banshee gets 2 kills, which is more than 0, and it lives. It's now being hunted. Bunny? Come back! Well, no, Bunny. Bunny having a little bit of a struggle. Okay, well, alright. So yeah, that's That's usually what happens. Thank you, Time, for demonstrating why we don't usually build Banshees in this matchup anymore. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So 2 Cyclones for Time. But this army is looking pretty deadly. Cyclone. Going through the speedulas here. The Wulas. Now the armies... units tab. Okay. So I think we're shaping up for another pear-shaped fight. But I'm not sure which direction is the juicy bottom of the pear. And which direction is the, like, awkward stem part. So that remains to be seen. It feels like Bunny really wants to make he knows he has the Viking advantage. He knows he has the Viking advantage. So he really wants to make the tanks work. And of course, Time doesn't want to let him get and lock down his third, because that's like half the map, right? Bunny has a slight army supply advantage, but he is taking a third, whereas Time has finished his third. Time doesn't, like, his third command centers are not on the same radio channel or something. Like, his third command centers just, like, they got their orders, okay? And they are going to follow them. This is not the first time a third command center has been caught transferring in possibly the worst... Are you going to lose your command center in your own main? Wait, what's happening? Oh no, here we go again. The Vikings, tanks, Ravens, Vikings. Bunny definitely has more Vikings. So... Okay, the Vikings are on the ground. Time is losing... Oh, what does he have left? He's got a few more SCVs, I guess. Oh, the tank. The precarious ramp. There are 2 Vikings on the ground and 2 Vikings in the air. Which seems like the worst of both worlds. Okay, the tank's moving a little closer. Bunny. Does he actually? No, he doesn't quite find the ankle. That is one way to dodge Vikings in the air, is by walking. So, distinct advantage. Here comes... Time. Stop it. Stop! What are you... No! Put that thing... Fly! What are you doing? Are you insane? He has Viking! What is happening? He's just gonna lose it! I don't... I meant the series, not the command center. But... Or did I? What the... Next time. Next time. Well, that ended. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out more videos that end slightly less abruptly, hopefully. Or over there. Actually, over there is better. Nobody clicks the end screen part. That's just there to remind you the videos. Let's be honest here. Is the video that's right here also right there? And which one would you click? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.